Today, I'm attempting to build a team that will accomplish a perfect 20-0 season. But to do this, we are starting with a completely blank roster, and for every position, we have to use a random NFL team in one of these boxes, starting with our running back. After shuffling all these boxes, let's go with my favorite number, 21. It's the Atlanta Falcons. They have Bijan Robinson as their starting running back, and he will be the first player on our roster. There's a twist. If I'm able to correctly guess the number of wins the team we select had during the 2023 NFL season, I can opt to skip that team and select a new box instead. But I only have a total of 5 guesses. Let's move on to our second running back, and since the Falcons have already been used, we can't land on them again. So let's go with number 7. Oh, and it's the Eagles. And they just signed Saquon Barkley in free agency, so we are definitely not using a skip here. And he will be running back number 1, moving Bijan Robinson to running back number 2. Once we finish building this team, we will simulate each game and have the opportunity to steal one player from our opponent's team during the regular season, which will help us complete our goal of building a 99 overall team and going a perfect 20-0. If we fail either of these 2 challenges, I will buy a player jersey of the most liked comment down below and wear it in an upcoming video. I'm a Cowboys fan. Please don't make me wear an Eagles jersey. Let's now move on to the first wide receiver we have to add to this team, and the box is going to be number 27, and it's the New York Giants. Their best receiver on their roster is Darius Slayton at a 78 overall. I'm going to try and guess how many wins the Giants had this past season, and if I'm right, I can pick a new box. I'm going to say they won 6 games this year, and we nailed it. Let's go with box number 9. Okay, the Titans. They recently acquired Calvin Ridley, but I think I have to go with DeAndre Hopkins as our first wide receiver on our roster. Continuing on with our receivers, let's go with box number 24, and that's the Bills. No brainer here, adding Stephon Diggs as wide receiver number 1, moving D-Hop to wide receiver number 2. And now, moving on to the last receiver, let's see what's behind box number 14. The Chicago Bears. We can go with recently acquired Keenan Allen or DJ Moore. Both are great receivers, but I'm leaning towards going with 6'2" Keenan Allen for the red zone, and he will be wide receiver number 2 on our team. Now time to select our tight end. I'm going to pick 2 boxes here, and the first one lands on the Saints, and this wasn't great. Bringing in Jawan Johnson as our first tight end on the roster, followed by box number 30, and it's the Chiefs. You already know who I'm bringing to the team, 99 overall Travis Kelce, and he will be tight end number 1. Before we get to our quarterback choice, let's pick a team for the entire offensive line position group, including the fullback. Let's go with box number 32, and oh no, it's the Seahawks. Definitely a bottom tier offensive line, but I'm going to hold off on making another guess and add the entire offensive line and Nick Bellore to our roster. Now for a quarterback. Please don't let it land on the Vikings or the Broncos. Okay, that'll do. The Cincinnati Bengals, adding Joe Burrow to an already stacked offense. Moving on to the defensive side of the ball, let's start with the strong safety position. Going with box number 23, the Minnesota Vikings. Bringing over longtime Viking Harrison Smith as our starting strong safety. And as for free safety, let's go with box number 3, and that's the Steelers. This is actually really good. They have Minkah Fitzpatrick, and he's going to play alongside Harrison Smith at free safety. Let's continue with the secondary and add our first cornerback to the team. The next box happens to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Not too bad, we get to add Jamel Dean to the cornerback position. Since we still have 2 more cornerbacks to add, let's pick 2 boxes. First is the number 16, which is the Colts, meaning we can add Kenny Moore as CB2. And then for the Niners, I elected to bring over Charvarius Ward to join the cornerback room. For outside linebackers, we'll select 2 players from one team, and it's going to be the Broncos. Yeah, I'm going to attempt to guess how many wins they had so we could pick a new box. Did they win 6 games? Wait, they actually won 8 games last season? Well, looks like we're adding Baron Browning and Jonathan Cooper as our outside linebackers. And as for middle linebackers, let's go with box number 25. And it's the Cardinals. I'm going to try skipping this one again. I think they only won 4 games, and I was right. Let's go with this box right here, and it's going to be the Chargers. Not ideal, but at least we can bring over Denzel Perryman and Deion Henley. Next up is the entire defensive line. This is going to be a big deal, so let's go with box number 15, and it's the Ravens. I'm good with this, since we can bring it over Justin Matabuke, Michael Pierce, Travis Jones, and Broderick Washington. As for our special teams, we got the Washington Commanders, so let's bring over Brandon McManus and Tress Way as our kicker and punter. And just like that, our roster is now complete, and our offense is looking pretty good, while the defense has plenty of great talent. Unfortunately, we're only an 85 rating, so we have plenty of work to do in order to complete the 2 goals of this video. Heading into the first game against the Minnesota Vikings, and if we win, we can steal one of their players from their roster. After simming the entire first half, the score is tied at 3, but early in the third quarter, Saquon takes the handoff and jukes by a couple defenders before getting pushed out of bounds. A few plays later, Saquon takes the handoff and scores his first touchdown of the game. Sam Darnold could get nothing going on offense, and on our very next drive, we were able to extend the lead with another rushing touchdown by Saquon Barkley. Darnold and the Vikings could not mount the comeback, and we secured our first win of the season. We now get to steal one player from the Vikings roster. A few options in Justin Jefferson, TJ Hawkinson, or Christian Darrisaw, and as much as we need the offensive line help, we can't be passing up on 99 overall Justin Jefferson, who reunites with LSU teammate Joe Burrow. Jumping right into the second game of the season against the 0-1 Bears. And to no one's surprise, the Burrow-Jefferson connection started off strong with the 71-yard touchdown. Burrow and Jefferson connected again for another touchdown, and we went on to defeat the Bears 38-23 and now get to steal a player off their roster. Even though Kevin Byard and DJ Moore are their highest rated players, we desperately need some linebacker help, so I elected to bring over Tremaine Edmonds to play alongside Denzel Perryman, going up against a 2-0 Philadelphia Eagles team that has elite talent. And the game started off great for the Eagles as Hurts connects with Dallas Goedert, who was able to fight his way into the end zone for the first score of the game. Are the Eagles going to spoil our perfect season already? Luckily for us, Burrow found Stephon Diggs at the back of the end zone to cut the lead. After simming the rest of the first half, the Eagles have a 23-14 point lead. After Burrow and Kelsey connect to cut the lead, the defense was able to get a big stop on third down, forcing the Eagles to punt the ball. Burrow was then able to lead his team all the way down the field before Saquon punched it in to take their first lead of the game. Unfortunately for Eagles fans, they failed to convert on third down, and our offense was able to score once again to close this game out. As for stealing a player, since we passed on O-line last time, it's time to bring in Lane Johnson to be our new right tackle. And after that really big win over the Eagles, we went into New Orleans, easily taking care of business, winning by a score of 42-17, adding their highest rated player in Demario Davis to beef up our linebacker core. This team carried that momentum right into their next game against the 2-3 Detroit Lions. However, the first score didn't come until late in the second quarter with a 46-yard touchdown pass to Keenan Allen. On our next possession, Joe Burrow rolls out and throws an absolute laser to Stephon Diggs for the touchdown. Our team kept their foot on the gas and ended up defeating the Lions. The Lions have one superstar that I really want to add to the team, and that's Aiden Hutchinson, who will replace Broderick Washington at right end. And after adding another superstar to their roster, we ended up hosting the 1-4 Atlanta Falcons, who we went on to easily defeat 31-7, adding Chris Lindstrom to our offensive line before heading to Buffalo to take on Josh Allen and the Bills. And we were able to get on the board first with this Joe Burrow rushing touchdown. After simming all the way to the fourth quarter, we only had a 2-point lead. Thankfully, Burrow was able to connect with Justin Jefferson for a huge first down, but he ended up throwing an interception in the end zone to Teron Johnson. Only down 2, Josh Allen was faced with a third down, but Harrison Smith was able to knock it away. And for some reason, the Bills elected to punt the ball, and Saquon Barkley was able to score a rushing touchdown. We went on to defeat the Bills, and after looking at their roster, I knew Matt Milano would make a great addition to our defense, and our team is now up to a 92 overall with a 92 offense and a 93 defense. After that big win over the Bills, we went on to easily defeat the Texans and then follow that up with a nice win over the Titans, bringing over Laramie Tunzel to be our new left tackle and Jeffrey Simmons to play defensive tackle for us. So we now take on our toughest opponent yet, the San Francisco 49ers. It was Brandon Ayuk who took the handoff for the first score of the game, and although we were able to score a touchdown just before halftime, we still trailed by 10 points. Keenan Allen was then able to find the end zone for the second time, and finally, our defense was able to get a stop. Joe Burrow was able to connect with Justin Jefferson before handing it off to Saquon, who punched it in for 6. After Purdy and his offense got down the field and scored to retake the lead, it was up to our offense once again. We were then able to work down the field, and all we need is a field goal. But Saquon Barkley took matters into his own hands and scored yet another touchdown. And just like that, we went on to defeat the 49ers and now have a really tough decision on who to steal from their roster. Might be a bold choice, but I'm going with Nick Bosa to really have one of the best edge rushers in the NFL on our team. Jumping right into the next game against the Colts, and for some reason it was a lot closer than I expected in the third quarter. But with a 10-point lead, Burrow was able to connect with Stephon Diggs over the middle before throwing a beam to Justin Jefferson to extend the lead to 17. After simming the rest of the game, we went on to defeat the Colts 31-15, so I decided to bring over Quentin Nelson from their roster to be our new left guard, bringing our offense up to a 96 overall. We are currently first in the NFC with an 11-0 record, and the next 3 games went exactly as planned. First, taking down the Panthers in a relatively close game, then absolutely crushed the Falcons 38-3, and finally defeated the Packers in decisive fashion. And with those 3 wins, we added Shaq Thompson, AJ Terrell, and Jair Alexander to solidify our defense. Next up is a good one against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And the game started out pretty great for us as our defense came up with a big stop and Saquon Barkley was able to score his first touchdown of the game. Even though the Jags kicked a couple field goals to stay in the game, Joe Burrow was able to find Travis Kelce on a hitch to to extend the lead to 8. Brandon McManus was then able to kick a 45-yard field goal to make this a 2-possession game, and even though Jacksonville was able to score, they ended up failing to recover the onside kick, and we went on to defeat the Jags by 3 points, giving us the opportunity to steal Josh Allen, who will replace Shaq Thompson at outside linebacker. The next game was against the Saints, who put up a really good fight, but in the end, it wasn't enough as we easily defeated them 35-13, stealing away Eric McCoy to upgrade our center position and getting our team up to a 98 overall. In the last game of the season, we went on to dominate the Carolina Panthers, going 17-0 during the regular season, and brought over Derek Brown to play with Jeffrey Simmons. And just like that, we are officially a 99 overall team, completing one of our goals, and are just 3 wins away from a perfect 20-0 season that has never been done before. Taking on the 11-6 Eagles in the divisional round, led by Jalen Hurts. And the game started out pretty great for us, as our defense was able to shut down Jalen Hurts on their opening drive. Joe Burrow was then able to work his team down the field with this nice pass to Keenan Allen, then this incredible run by Saquon Barkley, who made a defender miss, before finding a wide open Travis Kelce over the middle for the first score of the game. After simming the rest of the first half, we had a 28-10 point lead. And the second half was much more of the same, with Burrow getting his team down the field and then throwing a quick slant Keenan Allen in the end zone to extend the lead. We went on to defeat the Eagles in the divisional round, with Joe Burrow throwing for 292 yards and 5 touchdowns. But since this was a playoff win, we can no longer steal a player from our opponent's team. We now take on the Dallas Cowboys in the NFC Championship game. In the opening quarter, Dak was able to throw a really nice pass to Brandon Cooks in the end zone to take the early lead. Down 10 in the second quarter, Burrow is struggling to get his offense going. After simming the rest of the first half, the Cowboys have a 3-point lead. But in the fourth quarter, Burrow finds superstar receiver Justin Jefferson in the back of the end zone to take the lead. After the Cowboys settled for 3 to cut the lead to 1, Joe Burrow and the offense worked all the way down the field, and Saquon gets in the end zone to extend the lead back to 8. With just 45 seconds to go, Dak completely overthrows his receiver, and on 4th down, has plenty of time, throws it to the end zone, but it gets dropped. We end up defeating the Cowboys and are now moving on to the Super Bowl. We now take on a really good Ravens team who finished 16-1 this season. And Joe Burrow and the rest of our team take down Lamar and the Ravens to complete the perfect 20-0 season. On the opening drive, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens offense came out swinging. First with this pass to Zay Flowers, followed by Lamar Jackson taking off, and then they were able to close the drive out with this touchdown run by Derrick Henry. Luckily, our offense was able to answer right back with this touchdown pass to Justin Jefferson to take a 1-point lead. The rest of the first half went pretty well, as we had a 17-9 lead heading into halftime. And on our first possession in the second half, Burrow connects with Travis Kelce to pick up a crucial first down. And a couple plays later, Saquon was able to extend the lead with this touchdown run. Although Lamar was able to cut the lead to 5 with this touchdown pass to Rashad Bateman, Burrow was then able to pick up multiple first downs and win the Super Bowl, becoming the first team ever to complete the perfect 20-0 season. If you enjoyed this video, you should definitely go check out where I used one jersey number from every NFL team. It was a good one. Pick it up here.